All right, great. So I guess I'll have to start over again. Just give me a minute. All right, everyone, welcome to day 7 of our Detect Anything series. Yesterday, we covered the electric utilities, another large physical infrastructure site, and today we are moving to railroads. So, rail is one of the most distributed, exposed, and safety critical infrastructure systems in the world. And in the next 15 to 20 minutes, we'll do three things. We'll briefly look at how rail operators think about risk. Second, we'll walk through the operational gaps in the railway corridor monitoring. And third, we'll show how event-based detection supports both proactive and reactive incidents response. So, for a couple of minutes, let's start with the industry itself. Because rail is very different from utilities or construction, rail networks stretch for hundreds of miles. And unlike a warehouse or a plant, you can't really fence it all. Rail infrastructure is exposed, it's distributed, and it's constantly moving. And today we are going to talk about how rail operations move from reviewing video to responding to risk proactively. And before we talk about detections, let's ground ourselves a little bit in what the industry actually deals with on a day to day basis. So, as I said, railway is not centralized, it's linear. A small issue 40 miles down the corridor can disrupt an entire network. Operators are usually balancing public safety, operational uptime, regulatory compliance, environmental exposure, infrastructure integrity being one of the most high areas where rail operators really care about. And every one of those risks can emerge in the middle of nowhere. Now, here's the challenge. Drones are already there, docks are deployed, even non-docks. They have a drone team, they're all flying round the clock. But let's just understand what's really missing here. So rail operators are not really short on covering that area or short on footage. They're short on time. When you run corridor inspections, you generate continuous video, but again, someone has to be there to watch it, raise the flags, and then do a lot of coordination. And when you're covering multiple sites, let's say multiple rail yards, multiple railway tracks spanning about 100 plus miles, manual review simply does not scale. So small risks get buried inside long recordings, and by the time someone notices, it's often reactive. And the real question is what changes if corridor patrol becomes more event based instead of continuous? And let's walk through a couple of scenarios. What we've usually seen is the way you can get the maximum benefit out of this is having a proactive strategy and also a reactive strategy to it. So we'll just cover different scenarios covering both of these sections, which is proactive and reactive. So let's look at immediate risks. So it could be debris on the track or it could be animals. This is pretty straightforward. In a remote corridor, a pilot might miss it. Maybe the drone is on a scheduled flight. But if detected during the patrol, let me actually just play the video as well. Right. So the control center gets the alert, train operators are informed, speed adjustments can also happen quickly. And this is proactive safety. So before impact, you're able to take all of those decisions. And animals aren't only the thing that compromise track integrity over here. Sometimes the threat could also be environmental. So this is the kind of proactive strategy that you can have. The second is, like I said, environmental risks. So it could be flooding, could be mud flow, could be a severe storm, which has caused a lot of trees to fall down on the tracks. So this is where the environmental factor comes into play as well. So mud in the video you can see there's been heavy rainfall. Mud flow is near the rail bed. There's instability around the railway track and the road, and this could possibly lead to a washout and also flooding on the tracks, which could disrupt the services. So if this is flagged early, let me actually just go there and maybe pause the video so that you can see it better. Right. So as you can see, The agent has been able to detect it, flag it early during the patrol, and now engineering teams can inspect. Traffic can be slowed down, escalations can be prevented. You can probably, while the drone is in the air, figure out how many more resources are needed to be sent to that specific area to mitigate risks, to have follow-up routes or something else. So now let's shift to something different. This is not environmental, this is something human. So right of way encroachment. This is just an example. In this video, we'll show you if there is unauthorized construction near the track. So over here you can see near the railway track there is unauthorized construction. So this could compromise clearance, interfere with signaling, create structural risk. Often encroachments happen gradually, and this is just unauthorized encroachment. It could be again due to environmental factors as well. Vegetation is something as well. So the AI is able to flag construction activity near the tracks, and operators can intervene early, and this is prevention in a way. So now let's move to infrastructure itself. So sorry, we didn't have a video for it. We've just simulated the scenarios. I've just attached a small image here just to paint a picture. So a damaged crossing, again, it looks cosmetic, but it's risk to public safety. It's public safety exposure, and exposed, like, you could have uh, damaged infrastructure. It could be exposed wiring, could be the integrity of the signal, which could lead to further accidents down the line. So these are not just observations or inspection observations, these are operational risks. So you're able to detect early, repair quickly, reduce the liability, for which you could be fined as well. Right. So up to this point, everything we've discussed is proactive monitoring before something goes wrong. I'll just show a few examples, and we can shift to reactive operations as well. So security and perimeter risk. Rail corridors are not just operational infrastructure; they're also security zones. Think of huge, big rail yards where trains are stationed. Could have a lot of, valuable goods inside of them. So theft of cable, vandalism, fence breaches, yard intrusion are real risks, and they're not related to derailments or any infrastructure, but again they cost a lot of money and time goes into mitigating these risks as well. So let me just play this video. Over here you can see there's a train parked in a rail yard, and they have graffiti all over them, and this is something that we've realized is one big problem that a lot of railway operators face, even metro operators, where people just come in, cut the fence. The fence scenario we've seen across the different agents as well, and that agent can work over here as well. But you can clearly figure out, okay, we have graffiti on the train. There might be cleaning involved, or if there are people detected here, you can then detect people, coordinate with the ground team, apprehend the people, and then take the next steps according to whatever your internal SOP is. Right. So the same patrol that monitors track integrity can also flag security risks, and that is kind of what I wanted to share here. That railroad operators usually, obviously, the primary goal is to make sure the infrastructure is intact, but you have a couple of secondary agents that you can use as well on top of that primary use case. So now let's zoom out a little and see or dig a little deeper into the proactive plus reactive strategy that I just walked you through. So again, rail operators operate in two modes. It's proactive. You prevent derailments, you prevent structural compromise, you prevent encroachment, debris on the tracks. So that's the proactive mode, and then you have the reactive mode as well. So responding to incidents, assess the damage, deploy resources, secure perimeter, figure out how much more resources you need on the ground, emergency services, etc. So the railroad operations agent supports both. It does not, again, it's not replacing the pilots. It augments them. It prioritizes the way they should, prioritize what they should focus on. So this is kind of the strategy that we've seen work across not just this use case, but other use cases as well. Now let's talk about how this fits into your broader operations. So you could have dog drones, which is something that we've seen railroad operators adopting. They already have the infra or the fleet for non-dog drones, which are deployed during emergencies, and field teams are responding to incidents. So with Flightbase 1 and Flightbase as the platform, all drones appear in one operational dashboard. You have the telemetry, live video, flight logs, AI alerts raised on top of them, AI alerts logged to each and every flight, so that all you have that entire paper trail and evidence captured as well. So this is not just detection, it's unified real oversight. And that's kind of the real shift we are seeing with different use cases and how they can start leveraging the Verkos detect anything AI agents. Right. Some closing notes, like I've been saying, and this might sound repetitive, but rail networks are distributed. The risk is distributed. Incidents escalate pretty quickly, and railroad operations. This agent turns all of that footage into operational signals. So there's not a lot of cognitive load on the data. There's better prioritization, better signaling, better flagging of issues which are custom to your workflows, and that's kind of the difference. Right. So I think this is it, what I had to cover for today. We can open the meeting for some questions, and I'll be happy to, answer any questions or concerns you may have, or even if you want to discuss about how this agent can fit into different workflows as well. Okay, while people, wait to push their questions across, tomorrow what we are going to do is we are going to cover the refinery and industrial monitoring agent. So again, there's a lot of risk when it comes to industrial environments, and what we are going to uh, talk about tomorrow is again the gaps that exist in that industry, how the workers detect anything agent fits into that workflow. So we are going to talk about fire and smoke indicators, fluid leaks, and abnormal discharge across the infrastructure. PPE non-compliance we've already seen, unsafe proximity to restricted zones, and equipment condition anomalies as well. So, right, looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow as well. And thank you for joining in today. Really appreciate your time. If you haven't tried out WordCourse Detect Anything AI agents, they're enabled. If you have a flight-based organization, you can just start using them, without a lot of configuration. If you need any questions, we're always here and you can reach out to us. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, and speak to you tomorrow.